Hi there, I'm Jim.
And I'm Claire.
Let's talk teaching. Welcome to Let's Talk Teaching, a podcast from the Center for Teaching, Learning, and Technology here at Illinois State University. I'm Jim G. Joining me today, once again, Dr. Claire Lamonica, our director. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Jim.
So today we're doing a little episode, maybe the first of a few updates, I'm kind of hoping, because you have something exciting happening this fall.
I do. I'm so excited. I'm going to teach a class.
And
I'm going to teach a class of undergraduates. And I haven't done that. I haven't taught undergraduates in 10 years. And I'm going to teach a class of freshmen, and I haven't taught freshmen in 12 years. So I'm feeling very, very brave and not just a little terrified.
So as the director here at the Center for Teaching, Learning, and Technology, you're dealing with teaching every day. But again, this is kind of a new or a renewing experience, I guess we'll call it, or whatever.
Yeah.
And because that's not usually part of your directorship here necessarily. This is something extra. And it's a unique course here on campus. Can you describe, first of all, exactly what the course is?
Yeah, I'm going to teach a freshman LINC course. LINC is capital L, lowercase I, N, capital C, stands for Learning in Communities. It's a freshman seminar designed to aid the transition to college. Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily for students who are at risk or any specific population. Students do self-select into it. Mm-hmm. It meets for only the first 8 weeks of the academic year, twice a week, and the students get 1 hour of credit. You know what? It was a perfect opportunity for me because I've been wanting to go back and teach undergraduates for some time now, mm-hmm. but there just wasn't a good way to do it. My area is writing and the teaching of writing, and to try to teach a full-blown writing class or a methods class and attend to my administrative responsibilities just wasn't going to work. Mm-hmm. So when this opportunity came along, I actually went out sort of seeking an opportunity, and when I was offered this, I got really excited about it.
Should I ask, what are you maybe worried about at this point, or what?
I'm worried I'll blow it. What if I've forgotten how to do this?
Yeah.
Actually, it's not so much that I've forgotten how to do this. So the really good thing about working at CTLT is that you get to hear so many faculty stories. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just really fabulous. Mm-hmm. The really bad thing about working here at CTLT is that you get to hear so many faculty stories. So I've been hearing so much about how 18-year-olds now are different than 18-year-olds used to be that I'm a little worried that not having gone through some sort of transition gradually, maybe I'm going to go back and they're going to seem like total aliens. Like I'm not going to be able to recognize these people.
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, that worries me a little bit. I to be quite honest, but we'll muddle through.
Yeah. In my experience, it was about 3 years between teaching freshmen when I went back and taught the basic speech course again. And I noticed that there were differences in terms of attitude, but not necessarily bad. It was just different. And a lot of it, and of course I tend to notice things centered around technology. So a lot of it was how they wanted to interact with the class in terms of technology and stuff. But, and they're far more disciplined in terms of technology, like their smartphones and stuff, because I had freshmen who had gone all through high school being told to put their bleeping phones away. Oh. So they had been conditioned to a certain sort of order. To do that. And so when I kind of said, well, no, we can use our phones for this and this, they were a little reluctant to, because they thought it was
against
uncivil.
Yeah,
it was against the rules. I think you're going to find, I think it'll be an interesting challenge. Let's put it that way.
I think so too.
But I think they're still students.
Yeah. Well, and they're 18-year-olds in their first 8 weeks away from home, right?
Right.
So there's something almost universal about that experience. Mm-hmm. Not entirely universal, but almost.
Well, I wanted, and it's those universal experiences that you're now getting to do firsthand again that I think is of interest in terms of our humble little pokey little podcast here, because we were sitting in a meeting a couple weeks ago, or it was last week I think, and we were talking about accessibility, and we were talking about helping faculty members with accessibility best practices, helping expose different ways of exposing them to that. And you had brought up, you said, I'm doing this course, and I realized I wasn't using styles in the Word document when I was doing that.
I wrote my whole syllabus, and I wasn't using styles in Word. It just
Well, what you didn't notice when I was sitting right next to you was me go, oh, I've never done that. Oh. So guess what I'm doing this summer, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm teaching a course in the fall too. So I need to go through and do that, because
Me
I always
too.
just had bolded headings and stuff like that. But if someone's using a screen reader, and just from a ease of information standpoint, it makes sense. So I think that there are probably little things that you're going to be able to bring to our podcast that you've experienced either preparing or then delivering this course. What are some of the other things that you find yourself doing? Because you have been working ahead on this too.
I'm working ahead on it because it's going to come and go fast.
Yeah.
8 weeks is a flash, and I want to be able to be available to the students. I'm trying so hard to get ahead, and so that I'm not having to build the course while I'm teaching the course. I don't know if I'm going to get as far as I wanted, but I tell you, the thing that's happened to me so far is that I decided that I needed to practice what I preach. And so I started using D. Fink's course design process, and it's worked out great. I'm not doing all 12 steps necessarily, but I was starting with the basics. So I took learning outcomes. I have a set of learning outcomes, and I thought, okay, well, how will I be able to tell? This is what the students need to learn. How will I be able to tell whether they've learned it? So I started thinking in terms of, some things I might be able to assess. And then I was thinking about, things that we could do to help them accomplish those outcomes in a way that would make them feel good when they were assessed. And I had this table that was a thing of beauty. This beautiful, beautiful table of all the exciting, wonderful, great learning opportunities that my students were going to have, and all the great things we would do together. And then I pulled out the template for the course schedule, and I realized, this is an 8-week course.
Yeah. So you had built it out for a little longer. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because, usually I am planning for 16 weeks or at least 15 weeks.
Right.
And I had too much for that. So the thing that I have learned to do this summer is to let go of some things. And so there are a lot of things that I was really excited about doing with these students that we're not going to be able to do, because I had to prioritize. I had to look at them really hard and say, is this need to do, or is this nice to do? And practically all of my nice to do's are just wandering off, because, so at best I would have 16 class sessions. But the truth of the matter is, I'm teaching Monday, Wednesday. So there goes Labor Day.
Right. Yeah.
There's one session gone. And then there are at least three sessions that have to be devoted to sort of programmatic sorts of things that all the students in the program have to do. So there's 3 or 4 more sessions gone.
Right.
So I'm really down to like about 11 sessions that I get to take advantage of. And so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah. Sounds like it. Like it. I mean, I'm also teaching on Monday nights this semester,
Lose a week
after the schedule, and I usually taught on Tuesday nights, and just to help out, and because of some of my colleagues have commitments on different nights, so I ended up teaching on Monday night, and as soon as I realized that, it's like, every semester I'm going to lose, either with Labor Day or with the Dr. King holiday or whatever. So I'm not good at letting go. So so I may be coming to you for some advice, and of course this is an evening class that's 3 hours long. So even within I usually have too many things to do, and I'm better at this now, but it used to be that I was kind of like Captain Ahab. I was like, we're going to get that white whale by the end of the night. And I know you're all tired and you really want to go and you're all not really paying attention, but the Archie blows.
I have content to cover.
It's like,
you know what, that's part of a good reason for sort of telling this story is that this is one of the, top 5 quotes that we hear at CTLT, but I've got so much content.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that active learning thing, but I've got so much content to cover. I'd love to do some civic engagement in my course, but I've got so much content to cover. So, here I am.
Yeah.
In pretty much the same boat, thinking, wow, I've got all these things that I thought were really important. And so I think the lesson, the sort of general lesson about teaching here is that we sometimes have to let go of some things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm learning that the hard way at the moment.
So 2 final quick questions, because this is going to be a shorter episode today. Right. Number 1, how much, because it's a 1 credit hour course, how flipped is this course going to be? How much outside work ahead of time?
Yeah.
Time on task.
Yeah.
Are you going to?
It's going to be pretty flipped. I'm actually going to tell them, it's a 1 hour course. We're meeting, but it's only for 8 weeks. So we're meeting twice a week. So we're spending 2 hours a week in class. I actually wrote this into my syllabus the other day.
Ah, there you go.
And I said that conventional wisdom is that to do well in college, you should spend at least 2 to 3 hours outside of class preparing for every hour that you're in class. And research tells us that students don't do that. They don't spend nearly that time. So what I said in the syllabus was that I was going to ask them to commit to spending that much time, and that to help them with that, the work that I give them to do outside of class, I'm going to guesstimate how much time that will take, and I'm going to put that in the course schedule. So where it says what to prepare for class, it will have, watch this video, read this chapter, take this survey, whatever. And then it'll have next to it a little time guesstimate. I'm going to commit to not going over 4 hours per week. So 2 hours for each hour, right. 2 hours of preparation for each hour we're going to have in class.
Right.
And so it's pretty flipped.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of students, freshmen coming in, even in this day and age, I think that will be a new experience for them. I think they're still probably thinking college is sit and listen to someone wise talk about something I'm vaguely interested in for a while. Yeah. Well, which is kind of the whole point of the class, is to get them out of that mindset. So I think that'll be interesting. Final question. We've talked many times on our pokey little show about the importance of assessing our teaching and using that as a tool for reflection. Have you thought about how you're going to do that with an 8-week course? Because, there's no midterm chat, right?
We would have to do it, by the end of September.
Right. I suppose you could
actually,
do that.
We'd have to do it earlier in September.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could get somebody. The problem with doing a midterm chat in this is not that I couldn't find somebody to come in and do a midterm chat for me, because I know people, and I probably could get somebody to do it. But it's the idea of giving up one of my remaining 11 class sessions to that. I will do a quote midterm. So 4 weeks in, I'll ask the students, one of their outside of class assignments will be to answer a little questionnaire about how the class is going. And I'll probably use the midterm chat questions to compose that questionnaire.
Claire, it's exciting stuff.
It is exciting.
So what's the very next thing you need to do as far as getting ready to teach?
Oh my gosh. Well, I need to finish my syllabus is pretty much done, but I need to finish building my course schedule. And then I haven't started building my ReggieNet site yet. So I have to start building my ReggieNet site. And that's going to take more time because I don't use it often enough. And because it takes time to build a ReggieNet course site. That's just the way it is. Right. But because I don't use it very frequently, it takes me a little longer to do things than somebody who's using it for 3 courses or 4 courses a semester.
And obviously, I think you're going to be using the lessons tool and stuff like that a little bit more.
I love the lessons tool, but it's going
to take a little longer.
It takes a little time. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we'll let you get back to it, Claire.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. You can find out more about our podcast by going to our website, ctlt.illinoisstate.edu. And if you have an idea for a future episode that you'd like us to talk about, you can email us, ctlt@illinoisstate.edu. For Dr. Claire Lamonica and for all my colleagues here at the Center for Teaching, Learning, and Technology, until we talk again, happy teaching.